Good evening and welcome to the Disciples of Revan. I'm your host, Lord Gaius, and this is Lord Travius.
Hello there.
Today we're going to be covering The Last Jedi trailer and giving some of our thoughts on it and some possible spoilers. So Travius, what did you think about the trailer?
I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a fairly well-rounded movie. I mean, you know my opinions of Disney and so far what they've given us, but this one looks pretty promising. There's a little bit of ambiguity in the trailer, but you know what? I think overall it's going to be a good movie.
Yeah, I think they want to do a lot of misdirects. I mean, overall, just from the trailer, I'm a little more confident in this one. Like Rian Johnson, we didn't hear any director issues with it. Or Han Solo, tons of director issues. Even Rogue One had some issues. Like we did not get the same finished film we wanted.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought this trailer was really entertaining.
Well, Rian Johnson, one of the comments he had made previous to the trailer being dropped was that if you don't want to know anything about this, don't watch it. So I think he's subtly hinting of certain things that were played in the trailer that are big events, but they're not there yet, you know? So.
Yeah, like when Luke says, "Ray, I'm your daddy." Like, it's just like, don't read too much into that.
I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate.
What's that make us?
Absolutely nothing.
So let's break down the trailer, like, just section to section.
Sure.
It starts out with Snoke talking about Kylo Ren's untamed power and, like, how he's something special. I pretty think he's gonna be disappointed in Kylo. I mean, Kylo hasn't really succeeded in everything he wanted. I mean, Starkiller Base is gone. I think he's gonna send him after Leia. I don't think he's gonna succeed fully in that. He's the problem is Kylo may have turned to the dark side, but Ben's not actually that evil. He's just being lied and manipulated to. And even when he kills his dad, that was tough for him.
You know, there's a lot of parallels between Kylo Ren and Anakin Skywalker. And when Anakin turned to the dark side, his reason was, well, he wanted to save Padmé. Kylo Ren obviously was promised something from Snoke that we don't know at this point, but he was promised something.
I bet it's a non-cracked lightsaber crystal.
Perhaps. I mean, you know, the thing coming out the side, yeah, it's kind of unstable. I personally think Snoke's just using him, and then once he's done his business, he's going to ditch him for someone more powerful, perhaps Rey.
Yeah. I mean, how many times did that happen to Palpatine's apprentices?
Kill him. Kill him now. Do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you go look at some of the EU stuff, I know I'm going to touch on the EU stuff a lot today.
Yeah, I should say Travis is our EU expert here.
Yeah, so I mean, you look at Mara Jade. She was an Emperor's hand, and Palpatine actually had several apprentices that Vader didn't even know about. At the end of the day, Vader was his main guy, but as soon as Vader messed up, he was ready to get rid of him like that. So we'll see if the same thing happens with Snoke and Kylo Ren.
Yeah, I remember in the EU, didn't he cut off Vader's hand because of the first Death Star destruction? Yeah,
that was it. That's true. And it actually, there's a new comic that's coming out now that it goes into that more elaborately than it did before. So it'd be interesting to see, because all the other stuff's not canon anymore. This stuff is canon. So I love how the fact that Disney is borrowing from this canon and putting into their little universe. So, you know, we'll see how that all works. But yeah, there's a lot of parallels there.
Yeah.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now.
Now, the way the trailer's cut together, it looks like it happens at the temple, and he's referring to Kylo Ren. However, if we're going to be discovering Rey's parents, which JJ alluded that we would in this one, then maybe it's something different. Maybe it's Sidious or something. I'd love for it to be Kenobi, but I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Obviously, he's referring to Rey now, but who was the person in the past? It could be Palpatine. It could be Kenobi, like as you mentioned. It could be his own father, Vader. But at the same time, the trailer's making us think that it's Kylo Ren. Now, is Kylo the most powerful person? I don't know. He has some problems with Finn in the last movie.
Like, he did stop a laser bolt, though, and his training just isn't complete. Maybe they just skipped sword fighting.
But you got a guy that doesn't even have the Force powers, and he's kicking his ass.
The Kenobi thing, they're holding off on that movie till after their episode 9, so why would they be doing that? I know he's going to appear in either this one or the next one as a Force ghost of some sort.
Well, that'd be cool. Again, back to the EU. 5 years after Return of the Jedi, during the Thrawn trilogy, he actually appeared before Luke and said, we have to leave. We have to move on to the other side now. We've lingered too long. Him, Yoda, and Anakin would have left at that point. But again, boom, they Order 66 to the EU, and now we're new story, man.
Yeah, they threw a different Anakin in there as a Force ghost too.
Yes, young Hayden Christensen.
Guess he didn't age.
I still like the the how it should have ended, and you have Anakin sitting there as a ghost, but with his arms missing. I'm here.
Well, at least we're all friends.
You killed all of us as children.
Awkward this is.
So I really love Kylo's line in the trailer. It makes him look so badass and everything. And I wonder, because this kind of leads into one of the spoilers that I read, was that he interrogates Leia several times, and each time she's in his head, and he gets more frustrated because he goes in with the mask the first time, and she's just like, let me see your face. And so we even see him break the mask in the trailer, so it's entirely possible that scene could be in this movie. He's
struggling whether or not he should be light or dark. I think that his family ties are very important to him, despite the fact that he is, almost told he killed his dad. I mean, let's face it, he killed his dad. But I think his mom means a lot more to him.
Thank you.
But there's a theory that he might go light and Rey might go dark. So who knows? I mean, maybe this is his push away from Snoke. Maybe this is going to be something different. Again, it goes back to what I said before. I think Disney's or the writers have come up with something different than light and dark. So we'll see about that for sure.
Well, if that scene happens, I expect him to help her escape near the end, which is going to be heading towards the light and dark.
Yeah.
I really want Rey to go dark, but I don't think Disney's going to allow it because they put her up on a pedestal as somebody for all the girls to look up to, and it's like she can't go evil for a little bit and then be redeemed because that's a life lesson.
Yeah, unfortunately, Star Wars is PG, so we're not going to see anything good. However,
we can cut her in half, though.
Well, we can cut her in half. However, I saw some spiced up pictures of her online with the Sith look and stuff like that. It was pretty freaking hot.
Yeah, that picture of her and Kylo is just really awesome.
Yeah,
it's like light side green lightsaber Kylo.
Yeah, again, I don't think they're going to swap, but there's been rumors and stuff like that. Speaking of Leia, they got to do something with her. Obviously, Carrie Fisher unfortunately has passed away. Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. But they gotta tie that story up somehow. So whether or not he kills her, I know in the trailer it kind of another misdirection. He was sitting there, he was hesitating with the missiles. It looks like he was targeting the bridge of the ship that she was on, but we don't know. It could have been not even the ship that she's on. But
let the past die. Kill it. If you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
They should have done the whole James Cameron thing and filmed them all at the same time, or Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings. Get them all done so they didn't have to worry about that. But, different directors, different times.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to appreciate Rian Johnson's vision here.
Yeah, I know. You're not a J.J. Abrams fan.
No.
But hey,
recycle, reuse, J.J. Abrams' motto.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of The Force Awakens. A lot of people are pro shoot me for this, but I am more of a prequels fan because at least George Lucas had the balls to do something original. This new stuff is just, well, we've talked about this. It's regurgitated stuff. It's the old storyline, and this is what the people want. But at least George, people don't like Jar Jar Binks or the stone cold acting from Jake Lloyd. Even Liam Neeson was criticized for his acting, and same with Ewan McGregor. But
I tell you, if you had killed Qui-Gon's daughter, he would have come after you.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it.
So I think Rian Johnson, as we've been saying, is probably going to get the best performance out of these actors. JJ had a lot of surface level stuff. I think Johnson's going to go really deep into their characters. I'm already hearing they're they always throw the word Oscar around, but they're saying Mark Hamill's performance is just outright crazy. It's that good. And then, on the brighter side, we get porgs. The Ahch-To birds.
The Ewoks of episode 8 now.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be cute in the film, but I'm honestly looking more forward to those crystal foxes.
That's almost borrowed from the EU too, and the original Clone Wars cartoon, not the one that was out with David Filoni, that one, but the one that came out before episode 3. There was some snow creatures on one of the planets they had, the mini series there. But yeah, back to your Oscar stuff and the character driven. I think this is going to be a very character driven movie. I truly believe that. As you said, J.J. Abrams is like all like big screenshots and like explosions, and this looks really great. Let's look at this. But this one here, I think this one is definitely going to be the Empire of this trilogy, where it's more dark, more deeper, and more character driven.
So we're gonna get a cool space battle. I mean, are we gonna be able to top Rogue One's space battle?
I don't know. That was
epic.
Wow. Yeah, that was probably hands down the best one ever.
Finn versus Phasma action in the trailer.
Yeah, that looks pretty good too.
It's gonna get some revenge, some angry fighting.
Star Wars isn't anything without a space battle. There's always going to be some fleet fighting some other fleet somewhere. There's always going to be starfighters, capital ships, that sort of thing. I think, you can't go wrong with what's been happening. Force Awakens didn't really have that big of a space battle.
No,
yeah, I guess
all on planet.
Yeah, on planet.
Oh, same with Empire. It wasn't too much space battle. It was more chasing in space. But.
Yeah, but the Battle of Hoth was a very good battle compared to the one on for Starkiller Base. But the Phasma and Finn thing is interesting because obviously I think there's a backstory there. I haven't read any of the new comics or anything like that, but I know there's a Phasma comic.
Oh yeah, she pushed for Finn to be in there because she feels he's a really good soldier.
Yeah.
And, so he kind of let her down.
Yeah.
She was pushing for him.
Damn.
But apparently she got out of the trash compactor they put her in. That's one of those
knows all the codes.
Yeah, it's one of those stories that we didn't actually see there. But it's like when Snoke said to the general there, Hux, he said, make sure you get Kylo Ren and leave. Okay. Oh, let's get Phasma too. Don't forget her in the garbage chute.
Time.
Yeah, they got lots of time. It wasn't blowing up or anything. But I think the fight would be cool because I think there's a lot of bad blood there. I like the fact that they're using melee weapons that aren't lightsabers. That's actually kind of cool because the last time Star Wars did that was in Episode 3 when the Grievous's Magna Guards there had the force
pikes.
Yeah, force pikes. Yeah. So I think that would be really cool. I mean, we had a little bit in the last movie too when they had that fight on Takodana there, Finn and another soldier and called him traitor.
So in the trailer we see Rey jump into the water and then Luke's standing there, and I wonder if that's the start of the assault on Snoke's mountain because I read a leak that they were actually going to go there after Snoke, and clearly we see her and Snoke together, so they are in the same area. I think Luke's talking to somebody where he's saying oh, this is not the way you think it's going to end. He's on the ground there. It's like a dark castle, and that's where he faces off against the Knights of Ren. And obviously she faces a few of them because it's in the training video in the behind the scenes when she's fighting 2 people.
Right.
So I think that's entirely possible that happens.
If Luke and her decide to storm the Snoke's castle, citadel, or whatever you want to call it,
Snoke's mountain.
Snake Mountain. We get Skeletor now. I think they would have to be like a planned assault that would be in conjunction with the Resistance or something like that. If she's coming up out of the water, maybe as part of her training though too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we know she's going to be exploring Ahch-To there and going all around the planet in there. I think that's where she's actually going to find the book, The Guardian of the Wills and stuff. She's going to find out all about that. So you're going to get a lot of your little EU touches in there. Yeah,
again, and I mean the planet name itself, Ahch-To, we all know that the Jedi originated on the planet Typhon, if you go through the Old Republic game and everything like that. So it's the same stuff. They're just putting their little spin on it for some reason. I don't know. But I think it would be interesting. That one scene in the trailer where Snoke looks like it's Rey. She's levitated and she's in pain. One of his abilities is like a force drain. So he's essentially draining the force essence out of people to make himself heal and more powerful. One of the things that I was also speculated on was he was asleep for millennia. In fact, that he was actually a Sith of the Old Republic, and that when the Jedi Purge came and Palpatine slaughtered the Jedi with Vader, that he awoken. Because in the movie, he said, "Oh, I have seen the Empire rise and fall." So he's been around for a while, and I think he's been like a shadow figure in the background through all of it.
Well, I mean, if he's stealing another like Force user's powers, for one, they stole that from me. I wrote that. Yeah. And then like he could theoretically, and doubt it, but he could be the Emperor from Old Republic, who was the most powerful ever.
And he could be Darth Plagueis too, because there's a lot of striking similarities between him and Plagueis. And I mean, I've seen a lot of the guys out there doing these fan theories and stuff like that, and you know, there's some reasonable information out there that it alludes to it, and it makes a lot of sense.
I think they disputed saying it wasn't Plagueis, but you never know. They could always lie to us.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you.
Well, again, misdirection.
I mean, JJ told us that Benedict Cumberbatch wasn't Khan in Star Trek In the Darkness. Guess what? The British dude was the Indian Khan.
Yeah. Yeah, well, good old JJ, and he's on the director's seat for number 9. So
just rewatching.
Go JJ.
Yeah, just rewatching this trailer. Those special effects look so realistic. Like just the metal on all these ships and stuff. It looks like years ahead of where it was.
Yeah, even from the last movie 2 years ago. I mean, it looks like really sleek and really new looking. A stark contrast to, like, if you look at the original trilogy. I mean, George Lucas always wanted it to be a very used and lived in universe. You know,
that's what I found funny about Force Awakens, was the fact that JJ was going back to that, but it was way shinier.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at what you're in Jakku. It's a junkyard, it's a scavenger. You know, Han Solo's ship, the huge freighter, was a piece of crap. So I mean, and even the New Order stuff, the First Order stuff wasn't that great.
Yeah, and those Rathgars were not bathed.
No, they were not. No. The Doctor Who monsters, yeah. Rathtars, by the way.
Yeah, bite me.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
So at the end of this trailer, we see Rey asking to be trained, basically, and Kylo Ren reaching out his hand. And whether it's a complete misdirect or whether somehow those scenes are together, I mean, that goes right back to what we were talking about. Rey going, like, on her own and possibly becoming evil, or Kylo Ren redeeming himself. And the way I see it is they're all young actors, so we can easily do another trilogy after this.
Yes.
And once you've done that, because I don't want to rush this Kylo Ren redeem thing, do one movie and okay, we all trust them now. He should have like a trilogy of redeem himself and trying to save Rey, who's gone to the dark side. But it would make perfect sense to start up the EU after that, because everything in the EU took place with like Mara, Jade, and Luke having their kids. It was all about their kids, and they were just in it. So what if we go a bit further, and Rey and Kylo, they all have kids, and like the other characters have kids, and then we're following that, and we're actually starting all those EU stories that we couldn't do because all the actors aged, and we didn't film back then. So now we could start it all up.
Well, the problem with that, though, is the fact that the EU is strongly based after Han and Leia's twins, Jason, Jaina Solo, and Anakin Solo. And a lot of the stuff that happened in the expanded universe revolved around them, and they're growing up, and they're, you know, battling the remnants of the Empire, and then battling the new, actually, I think it was the Shadow Academy. Then it was the Yuuzhan Vong. And that was a huge story arc, and how this extragalactic alien species has invaded the galaxy and pretty much decimated everyone. They even took Coruscant out of its orbit to move it closer to the sun to warm it up so it could be like their home planet. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they could do, but the stuff that they couldn't do. Now you mentioned Luke and Mara's son. Well, first of all, we need to marry Jade. Secondly, Luke's pretty old.
And a Kyle Katarn.
Yeah, and a Kyle Katarn. Yeah, I miss that they should have brought Kyle Katarn in.
Weaponless. Kill me! You can't, can you? You're weak like a father. Jarek, he gave him a sweet, slow death. A death worthy of a coward! I had the honor taking his head and thrusting it on a spike for all to see.
But I mean, Luke is too old now to have kids. Let's face it, the guy is 60 plus years old. He ain't having kids anymore. So if they expand it now, it's going to be a new expanding universe. And I think they're going to take a game from the old one, put it in. Or maybe they'll find a way to amalgamate both of them and just say, oh, I don't know, we'll Star Trek it and say it was like a time warp or an alternate universe. I mean, it's possible.
Well, it's like you said, it all centers around Jason and Jada.
Yeah.
So easily Rey could have twins, and then bam.
Well, we could do it that way too, but it still is. Yeah, it would be tough. It really would be tough. But at the end of the day, you know, this right now is what the fan base wants. I'm gonna knock on wood there because not all fans want this, but this is the new direction it's going. And what, like it or not, this is what Disney's giving us. Rian Johnson's a great director. I'm pretty sure he'll capitalize on his experience and give us a good movie. JJ, I have mixed opinions about JJ, but you know what? He gave us a half decent movie in episode 7. We'll see what he does with 9.
It's going to be really telling in episode 9 because I think Johnson's getting great performances out of everybody, and if JJ can't, it's going to be pretty telling.
Well, it is, but maybe Rian Johnson will set him up, and it would be like a no-brainer for him just to walk in there and say, hey, this is what we got to go with, let's do this. I mean, I didn't hate the Star Trek movies. I don't like the fact that they've gone off any type of, timeline. Is totally new. But at the same time, this is what's happening in Star Wars too. It's like a reboot. And this is what's rejuvenating. And this is what even my kids are into it again and stuff like that. So unfortunately, this is it. I mean, if you go to my library, I have a plethora of books from the expanding universe. I'm definitely a fan of that. But if they want to go this route, I'm still going to be a fan. I'm going to go see the movie. We're going to see it opening night. And we're going to like it. And we'll have a discussion about it afterwards.
This is not going to go the way you think.
So overall, Jeff, I think that the new Star Wars is totally different than what we're used to. From the Breather trailer, we already know that Luke has said it's time for the Jedi to end. What does he mean by that? Is it the Jedi itself? Is it the old incarnation of the Jedi? Is it the new incarnation of the Jedi? What exactly has to end?
I think it's just the Jedi way because, they don't let people marry, so it's like, you can't have a girlfriend. It's lame. But overall, for me, I hope a lot of these things, even though they're teasing this Rey Kylo thing, I hope it happens. I want to see some wicked lightsaber fights, which I think we're going to get, and we're going to get some wicked space battles. I think this movie's... And the fact that it's like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's a long runtime. Longest runtime ever for Star Wars.
The important thing though is I think he has so much story that he needs that. Like if you saw the new Blade Runner, it needed that time.
Yeah. The runtime is one thing, but you just touched on something else there before we go. This Rey Kylo thing.
You need a teacher! I could show you the ways of the Force!
That could be an apprenticeship thing, or it could be a love story. You never know. So like, there's a love story in every trilogy. Anakin, Padmé, Han and Leia. What's this one? Could be Finn and Rey.
I always said that they weren't going to hook Rey up because Disney wants to show Rey as a strong, independent woman, so they want her not to need a man.
The politically correct stuff. Yes. Yeah. Well, Disney still has princesses who marry their prince and live happily ever after. So it stands to reason that Rey can actually find someone as well. I don't know, but overall, yes, I think it looks good. I'm looking forward to it. Again, I'm apprehensive about liking this new stuff just because I'm such a stalwart in the old regime. But I'll go in with an open mind. And we'll see how it pans out. We'll be obviously discussing this quite in depth after it comes out December 15th. Get your tickets.
I really think Luke's heading towards the teachings of Revan and just how he had balance of the light and the dark.
Yeah, and you know what? You could be hitting the nail right on the head there because
they want to go back and do some old Republic movies at some point.
I think that would be really cool. Could you imagine a Revan movie or just the a huge space battle with the fleets of the Sith Empire and the Republic? That would be awesome. The cutscenes in the game itself are awesome. But I mean, if you have something like that, a storyline, yeah, I think that would be a very good idea by Disney, if anything.
Well, as always, thanks for watching, and join us next time when we talk more Star Wars.
May the balance of the Force be with you.
What have you for me today, my master?
A great and powerful being has emerged. He has shrouded himself in darkness.
You know I take pleasure in killing both Sith and Jedi. Their failed teachings will soon come to light.